beautiful people, welcome back to another podcast. You're here with me, Sureet and Stevie K. Before we even start, it's been manic before we even started today. I'm going to tell you what's been going on. Like, literally, I've had to give Steve all these different orders before we sat down. Like, don't do this, don't do that. Because every other podcast, I'm like hearing little noises here, there. Yeah, I've just had to give him a whole lowdown here. And he's like, oh, here she goes, typical woman moaning at me.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm like, dude,
I did think it.
I shouldn't have to tell you things a million times. Like, in the last podcast, I could hear the noises on the table because either you put your arm on it or whatever else not. So hopefully soon we'll have
Are you still with us?
A new setting. No, I was just laughing because we've been like bickering and stuff.
No, I haven't been bickering. I've just been told what I can and can't do, or what I should do and shouldn't do, and how to make them. Yeah. Do other people have that? You know, when you if there's people out there who do podcasts or who listen to other people who have podcasts, do you go through all that? Like, don't do this, don't do it. Or is it like, is there one person, or it might not be podcasts, anything in your relationships or anything, that there's one person always saying to the other person, can you not do that? Could you do that? Be like this. Do that. And then she goes, you know what? At the end of it, it's like, just be yourself. Huh?
Yeah, be yourself. So earlier on today, we were having conversations, sitting down with our daughter, having some chit chat. And I was like, Kay, this is you. Can you not just be that on the podcast? That's you. This is the person I know. So why are you something, not that you're anyone different, but you act like you're on Magic Flicks. Magic Flicks is yours. Yeah. I know we run it together. But just like we're on Magic Flicks, you're the one who's telling me what I can and can't do or say.
I don't say that though.
Yeah, you do. You run Magic Flicks and you tell me how to be. So this is
no, I don't.
Sureet's podcast.
I never tell you how to be.
Okay, yeah, but you're always correcting me. You're always like, oh, this or that. Next time, don't do. Yes, sorry. Yes, you do.
I just say get the name right of the movie we're watching.
Well, you try it. Well, even you can't say half the names that are from like.
No, they're not easy. They're not easy.
South,
obviously, if you don't know.
When it comes to South India and the movie names, and I cannot. I'm stuttering a million times. But it's been funny just trying to get this podcast together. Casey is upstairs and she could hear us, so he's trying to get brownie points with his daughter. He's trying to get his last brownie points with her, going up saying, oh, can you see what your mum? I'm like, no, I'm just telling him, Casey, just to not do certain things which kind of doesn't work well with the podcast.
It's not the podcast, guys. It's not just about the podcast.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I said to her. I said, you're not going to miss this, are you? And she goes, no, I will do. She's actually said the whole dialogue. Oh, welcome back to our podcast. She's upstairs. She goes, oh, I'm not going to hear this no more. It's Casey's.
And she's like, God, I'm going to miss mum moaning at dad.
Last few days.
You know what I mean? What I'm going to do? I have to phone in the morning just to hear all the things that dad should and shouldn't do. All throughout
I think
the day.
she agrees with me because she knows that you're a bit of a... Mm-hmm. And don't say it's a woman thing or it's also
I don't know. Is it a woman thing or is it a man thing as well? Is there men out there who keep on telling their wife what they should do and shouldn't do? I mean, I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I don't think you need to tell your wives what to do. They are a bit more switched on. With Steve, it's like, let's just lights, camera, action. That's it. I need to make sure the setting's right, that he's sitting in the right place.
Lights, camera, action, baby. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yes, there's a lot of other things that has to be made sure. We need to have a little pet talk before we start and all, X, Y, and Z. There's all these things that need to be considered from the last podcast and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just talking him through it. And I've gone upstairs in case he goes...
This is just during sex. Got to do this, do it like this way, in the... No, only joking. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. No,
so she's like... Anyway, I've gone up to her and she goes, oh, she's doing the intro. And I was like, oh my God, you're probably going to, not going to miss this. Because clearly sometimes when we're filming... She's asleep and she can hear us, and they do the dialogues to themselves. They're also waking up. They're actually saying it along with us apparently sometimes. And she goes, no. I was like, you know what? You don't even watch our podcast. She's like, Mum, I can hear it all upstairs. So why do I need to watch it? And plus I know what's going on in our lives. Why do I need to watch your podcast for? And just have it. And she goes, I was like, well, it's not going to be the same anymore. You're going to go away and you're going to probably want to listen in and whatever. But it's like... She's got a couple more days and there's a lot going on, isn't there? I know there's a lot going on in my head. And it's just like, although we have discussed it in the last couple of...
Yeah, it's like another chapter.
Yeah.
It's going to be totally different because I think we mentioned that there's girls, obviously. Girls obviously grew up. We had all three of them.
Yeah.
Then
this is one of them. Keep your hand there.
Yeah, so the girls grew up, yeah, and they're all going, so it's going to be a big change. And then it's only going to be our son there. So, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Dear. No.
And she said, like, basically what you talk about, keep it short.
Be quiet, Ken. Why do you make me look like...
I did hear, I don't know what you told me.
Yeah, because that one sentence you can long up forever.
Yeah, done it?
Shut up.
You're next.
You're so mean. I didn't do it like that. I think we repeat ourselves a million times in the podcast, so I'm just going through it. Like, we don't need to repeat things, this, that, the other. But
she's going... When I blink at you, it means shut up, no more.
I don't know, punch you one? Forget that. I don't need to blink or just punch you one. Can I just tell them exactly what just happened earlier? Can I?
No.
No, why? Because you know it's wrong.
Can we change the subject now? That we've talked enough about this.
We have. He's saying this because obviously I said earlier, like, can we keep the subject quite short and
done.
Fun? Dusted.
Next.
Okay, next. No, we were talking about Casey going away, and I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's just a few days, guys. In fact, it's a day or two.
For a few days. It's Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'm trying to say it's a few days, as you can see. Like, we're trying to hold on to it.
Actually, this would have happened from the podcast, guys. We're actually filming it because we ain't gonna be able to.
We're doing it beforehand.
We got the weekend kind of thing, so it's gonna be hard for us to do this. So basically, we filmed this. Case is going in a day. So yeah,
so obviously there's a lot going on. We're taking her to uni and stuff, and I don't know how I'm gonna be. I feel like I'm saying I'm good. I know in the last podcast I was like, oh yeah, but I know it's like slowly. I think more so from Veed. Yeah. And going upstairs, seeing her stuff down here, just doing her last little bits with her. It's like, oh, I'm trying to not. It's like I'm trying to avoid her as well. I've noticed that. Like, I don't want to. I don't know. Just make it easier and stuff. It's really weird. It's really weird. And this is the thing. It's not spoken about enough. I don't think. Like, no one prepares you for this. You don't think about it. The kid's gone off to uni. It just comes like all of a sudden. And when it does, it comes in all at once. With us, it did. And it's... People are like, well, it should be a good thing that going to uni should be like... It's an amazing thing, but obviously...
It's just like someone getting married. It's an amazing thing, but at the same time, it's like a change. It's like a chapter. Such a big change, part of your life that now... You know, they're going to be doing things themselves, which is a good thing. Again, everything's good, but it says change at home so much. And obviously with Vida as well, being the only one at home, we're going to have to spend more time. Adapt, you got to change. You got to
spend more time with the little one at home, you know.
Because he had his siblings before that. He had like 3 sisters who he grew up with for the past 12 years around him kind of thing. So and there's never been without one or the other. And now it's come the first time that all of them are going to be here. I'm not saying that you can't communicate and contact them.
Yeah, and if you think about it, last time I felt like it was hard anyway, and it didn't hit me until like the week with the girls gone, and they went together. But I was more concerned about him. But he still had Casey to come home to. But now there's no one, no sibling to come home to. I feel like I'm more focused on what we're going to do with him. How we're gonna, we're gonna have to start fitting in more things with him where he would spend a bit of time with Casey. Now he's always in and out of a room. That they giggle and laugh together, play card games, and do so much. We took them bowling the other day. They do things together. And now it's like, okay, how are we gonna make this fun for him? What we're gonna do with him? And it's like become that, and it's like my head's getting all like heavy and like weird. So it's those kind of.
I know that she's been distracting herself anyway.
You learn patterns about yourself and. That's one thing
about each other.
And each other. This is something I have picked up that I have done for many years. I don't do it as much.
You distract yourself.
Yeah, I don't.
And you occupy and you start getting busy. If it's not cleaning, then it's shopping, then it's just getting out of the way. Or then it's just doing mindless things that you're just looking and going, well, why is she doing this? And now, why is she doing all this in one go?
What is mindless things? I don't think I do anything.
But anything that actually you haven't done for ages that it didn't really matter, but now all of a sudden you have to do it. But then you have to do one thing after the other, but more or less convincing yourself that I've got to do all this and I might as well get it all over and done with, where you don't need to.
Yeah, but if you're aware of it and you know, there's before I never used to be aware of it.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, but I just never say anything and go, here she is.
But I can say the same thing to you. This is how I cope and deal with it. Just like when you're feeling in the same sense that I am, where you like to get things done, and I think it's unnecessary. You want to do all and do it just because you don't want to think and focus on what you've got to focus on. So we can. It's just knowing that we do that, where we never used to know that we do that. So, and I think there's a lot of people who still up until this day don't know
trying to cope with something, or but you're distracting off the actual thing that's going on.
Yeah.
By doing other things that you still need doing, but they didn't really
Some
need
people
doing in
can-
the time. You're just more or less trying to distract yourself or get on with stuff, so you don't have to focus on this.
Some people can carry on doing it for weeks on end and not know, or just not know that they're doing it. They're living in this limbo of just distracting themselves, doing things, thinking they're enjoying it. And I know at one point in my life I was actually like that. Like day in, day out, I'll do a certain thing, and I look back and I think I could never do that no more. Just for example, you were saying like when I start cleaning, I clean. And you remember those days.
She hasn't cleaned now for a couple of years, so it's all right.
I'm better, I'm fixed. That's what I mean. And he's like, shit, man. Why didn't
she's
you
not
just...
clean, man, anymore.
Okay, I'm going to miss that because Casey's been doing that for me.
Yeah.
Whilst I've been doing other things, I'm occupied with work and stuff. She's been cleaning and stuff, which only leaves me to the cooking and then the clothing and stuff. So
She don't do often.
I'm making...
What?
Excuse me?
No,
Washes
no,
your
what was
clothes?
that?
Your mum?
No, I was talking about the cooking.
I don't cook because all of you... I cook once in a while now as well because they're so very... Like, honestly, it's not easy to cook in this house. Everyone's on some certain diet or doesn't know what they want or whatever.
I know what I want. I'm eating it.
Yeah, so there's that. So Casey's going right. And I don't think it's spoken about. And, like, I think that's got to be, like, a little... It'd be nice to have some kind of a parent social...
Network.
I don't know, network where, you know, people are going through... You know why I say that, actually? It's just come to my mind. Do you know... if you'll probably remember her name, we did a reaction on her. She's from India. She's the only female. She was really... I connected with her because she's a mom and she's really funny. And she came to the UK and we missed her show. We were supposed to go.
Yeah.
What is her name?
Something.
Harpriya Bains. That's it.
Stand-up comedian.
Yeah, she put up a post and it was just a lot of writing about how there's a lot of change in her life. Like she can't believe where she's gone. Obviously this comedian side of her has just come out of nowhere. It's her mom told her to do it. She's like, why don't you just make a living out of it? You're so fun, like whatever. So she's done it and it went crazy for her. It's done so well for her. And the fact that we know of her as well, I really want to see her. If you don't know her, you need to check her out. I'll link her in this podcast. She's from India. She's now traveling, and it's like more like relatable because she's a mother. She's got children, and she kind of puts in her experiences with her husband, so we can have a giggle. We've watched some things that we really really giggled up, and she put this post up saying that there's a lot of changes. Obviously, this has come to her, and like she can't believe like it's been a blessing. She's met so many amazing people on her journey. You know, and the sport, and then obviously she gets a negative side of it as well. She's talking about that, and also now like there's been a big change. Her daughter's going to uni, and she does now like obviously wrote a bit about that, and then laughing it off about her husband in the end, like how joking it off about him. And I was like, oh my god, like it's not spoken about. People, a lot of people don't even know what empty nest syndrome is, like, you know, and they don't think it's a thing. Of course it is. Your child is leaving. You've brought these beautiful children up all these years, looked after them, and then it's like
empty nest syndrome.
Oh,
I thought it was when mothers go cuckoo. I just thought, you know what I mean, nest empty cuckoo.
And then fly off cuckoo. Yeah, I'm gonna go cuckoo. I'm gonna leave you, love. I'm gonna
go
leave you.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. What? Evil?
I mean, I found you like that. I don't want you to change. You just stay.
You're really good.
You just stay like you are. Okay.
I keep this.
Okay, are we done on this subject?
Relationship.
Next, please.
No, we're not. Are you going to keep doing this?
Next.
No. Anyone going through?
Guys, this has been going on for such a long time.
No, honestly, before we end on the empty nest syndrome, honestly, anyone who's going through it,
yeah,
like it's not easy. It is difficult, and even the third time round for us, it feels like it gets worse and worse. Like I was saying, we're laughing it off last week, but I feel like now I'm like, oh, there's other things to think about. And then is the changing habits in this household as well. It was hard enough for me to get used to. Like when I went shopping, before I'd buy a set amount of meat. And now there's
not only that, different foods for different people. Different
foods. And, spending time with different kids during different hours of the day or whatever else, not knowing when someone's coming, going. Now it's just like, it's a big thing.
But you do get time. It's not like, and like Casey said now, guys, the things that you like say that you don't get to do or you would like to do, no excuses. No.
Oh, so that was another thing we giggled over this morning. What was it? You said something. What did you say? He made this joke like, oh, we're going to have plenty of time now that Casey's going to go. And she goes, yeah, you can't moan that you guys don't have a sex life that we're around. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But the only other problem we have there is Casey. I'm not an early bird and we're going to have to fit it in before V comes home. And that's not me. And this is the jokes that we can have with her. It's a bit much, but this is what it's like with us in this house. And
we all have a sense of humor.
It was a proper band this
like
morning.
It's
Just talking about
adults.
you're going now. Yes, I can walk around, and do what I want around the house. And she's like, oh God, Mom. So we're having these little jokes. And I think that's also like to do with, I think it's a little coping mechanism as well, isn't it? Knowing that she's going and just making it fun as well. Not like it's got to be, oh my God, because she's a little emotional about going.
Many people will say our kids have gone and we didn't experience that. Either they're very occupied with their work or they're occupied with other family issues and problems that have been going on, that kids can just go to university and they think nothing of it, or everyone else is...
I think the difference is, me and her, she was saying to me in the kitchen this morning, the difference with us is other people have people. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're distracted, like you were just saying. They've got issues talking about or they have family members. They can go to X, Y, and Z, or kids come over. We don't have that. We have no other people. It's just us. So we have each other, and it's like not as if I can say, you know what, V's not going to miss out on anything. I'm going to drop him off at so and so's house, or someone's coming over that you keep him entertained. We have to do that work ourselves. It's on us.
Changes.
So she was telling her own boyfriend the same thing, that he's got obviously sibling. She's going to come home. She's got another sister at home. But you've got a whole big family. You're always weekends doing something. Whereas for her, Veed is really important for her, that she makes sure that she's here for him. She'll come as often and she'll make sure she speaks to him. And this morning, she's shown me this picture. She's actually sketched this drawing of them two together, and his favourite teddy since he's been born, he's had. They look nothing like they are when he had them. He's obviously, as growing up, chewed on them, they've gone everywhere with him. And she's got this lovely thing at the back, like lovely paragraph, and it's just so touching. And to me it was just like, oh my God, this is getting even more and more real. So it's different for us, a lot different than it could be for other people who probably think, well, why are you making such a big deal? You should be. We are proud, of course we are. We've got 3 girls who've gone to uni.
Very proud. But the thing is, your environment changes, and that's time, like you said, you could be spending with one or the other, and you made time. Now all of a sudden that time becomes empty, and then you're trying to fill that time. So all that time you go, I couldn't do X, Y, and Z because I'm here, because you're making sure you got that time. And now all of a sudden when they go, you're like going, okay, now I've got to fill that time.
Exactly.
With the things that I said I was going to do. But obviously those things weren't as, you made them out as not as important. Because kids are important.
It just makes me
now
think...
you're going to go, okay, those things, let's bring those back.
Makes you think about...
Let's do these.
The parents who just have that one child, how they must feel, like just that one child when it's gone, because you devote your whole life and you're there for them. I know you're there if you have a bigger family, but...
Still feel the same.
Probably
still feel the same.
I think it'd be even a lot worse. So that's been a big thing at the moment, and...
There's probably people out there as well going, well, I don't see what the big deal is. Or they probably have people out there who say, we went to university, our parents didn't give a crap.
Really? Do you think?
I'm just saying, they might just say, they're just like going, Dad dropped me off and he just carried on with working, like going, I don't know. There's loads of people go to university. How many kids are, or, kids
yeah, they do.
Uni.
I think, again,
everyone's experiences are different.
That's.
But then there are, like you said, people who are affected a lot by it because their life and everything changes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
that's that. That's a part of our life at the moment. What's going on? So it's been a bit crazy, still is, and
that's why I think our mind is a bit frazzled, I would say.
Yeah,
it's like we're still doing the work that we got to do, and we still know that we got to do this podcast, but yet we're thinking about our son, we're thinking about our daughter, obviously, and then obviously we got our own feelings and emotions, which many parents like to hide away, and everything's fine as long as they don't feel it. No, it's I think we're more or less like going, everything's gonna be great, we say it as it is. And, everyone does it. But, it is a bit like,
Yeah.
So what was...
I think other people have a network of support, whether it's family or someone else, to talk to, that you don't get distracted, like you've said before. For us, it's just we're going to come back and that's it.
That's it. So it's
just
us.
Like so it's a lot different to what other people are going to turn around and say, oh, this, it should be... It's a very happy moment for us. We feel really proud.
That dreaded time of like Saturday, drop her off, come all the way back and go, okay, now what? Now what?
It's the 3 of us.
We want our child to obviously, like everyone else, go out there, find her own sort of people, her own kind of, like things that she enjoys and they enjoy, find herself. I think many of us do sort of like, know who we are and know what we like, but we decide that we don't have to, or we won't do it because of the people around us. Okay, it's like now earlier this week we went bowling, and honestly, I just like sort of came alive. I really enjoyed it, and it made me sort of like look at how I was when I was younger. Even when obviously I got married, I was always up for competition. I always liked things that would challenge me. It doesn't matter if it was just playing badminton with my friends, or it was chess, or it was just like, anything, climbing, football, you name it. I was always doing those things, and I keep on saying to everyone, this is all I ever did. If not that, then it was like movies, but I haven't done them for some time because obviously, everyone around me, everyone likes different things.
Do you think,
but not very much
part of like life anyway? People, they just kind of put their own needs to the side, like parents anyway. Like
I think so.
A lot of parents,
and not only that, it's like sometimes you can have brothers or you can have sisters that you live with or around you, or friends that don't want to do those things. But then because before you probably all played football together or you played badminton together, now they've grown up and they got other commitments, work, children. They don't want to do those things anymore, or haven't got the time that fits in with yours. Mine started happening when I was in the police force and my hours were different, so I couldn't do certain things. So anytime people were doing it, I couldn't.
Because you were, when we got together, we were married, you were still going football.
I was still doing it.
You were still doing football.
I was doing football 3 times a week, badminton, I'll drive or travel wherever. I was doing gymnastics, you name it.
It's like as soon as we moved down here, had the kids. Did you do football then as well? Did you
I did for,
you did for a while,
quite
didn't
some
you?
time, yeah. My kind of people are the people who, like, again, challenge themselves. Want to do sports, want to do different games. It could be even a game of board, chess. But all I've seen is that the people that that I no longer hang around with, that I was actually in our sort of circle environment, the only thing that they would do is, should we go to the pub and have a drink, or shall we talk about other like things that are irrelevant about other people? And I just went, I don't like doing this.
Yeah.
It just seems like this is all it is, and this is all it's going to be. So I'd rather just like take myself out of that. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone before anyone, all I'm saying is my circle of people, I'd rather have those people who are going, mate, I'd rather have a game of chess, I'd rather go and game of pool or snooker. It doesn't have to be anything, that just something active.
I feel like this year for us, there's been a lot of things that have happened. We've gone backwards, and we've done things to realise ourselves a little bit.
But it hasn't taken us long. It's more or less like we've just gone to check back to see if things had changed, adapted, and they haven't, and you're going to forget this.
Yeah.
I don't miss this.
It's the same thing like you're saying with your, having friends where they are, and if you were to go out, it'd be stuff that you're not interested in, but you're having to it feels like you've just been there because you've got nothing else.
You're doing it because you're trying to socialise and you're trying to fit in, and you're just going, well, this is what everyone else that around me is doing. It's better than doing nothing else.
It comes to mind of a question that someone asked saying, how do you, when you
move on? That's what the question. Sorry.
Friends, yeah. Was that on Spotify?
Yeah, it was on Spotify. Thank you to everyone who started writing on Spotify and asking questions and stuff. That was one of them. It's like, how do you move on? Like if you've outgrown your friends or you've gone in different directions, how can you just because we all want to fit in somewhere or the other, but sometimes we're just fitting in with the wrong people.
Yeah.
But we feel like because the kind of people that we probably want or wish we had, they're not there. We've got to make do because this is what we've got.
But I feel like we go through a stage of life that at that time, those are the people for you because you're that person. They're there for a reason. You attract what you are.
Yeah, but how do you move on?
And how you move on. And I think this is such a good question for us because we've had to go through that ourselves so much for the last couple of years because we have moved away from everything and everyone, and we've seen how it's affected. And it's like you're back and forth because you feel like the bad person. But when you like, just for example, me just saying earlier, we have had to go back to feel like there's been incidents just in the last month or so for us where whether it's been a family member, whatever, a friend who's come back and we're like, oh, okay, let's give it a try, let's see. And you realise things are still the same and you're not missing out on anything.
Same
in
conversations.
Fact, it kind of used to drain you.
Same everything.
That you
and
don't...
it's nothing
bad. It's just that you no longer feel like you...
There's no growth.
Yeah.
As in, you don't see that, I want to do this. I don't miss this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
It's draining. You've got other things to think about. You've got more important things that you want to do
but the thing is,
in life.
I don't miss this. And I don't want to do this each week of having these same conversations, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
This isn't anything that's, brings me joy. makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But like I said, just me going and doing bowling with my wife and kids, which I haven't done for ages.
You feel like, whoa.
Oh my gosh, I was there like this, I was there dancing, and I don't do this. We'll go places and it's sort of like when that's not.
He literally is an introvert, so when he's out, he's very like much looking around to see who's around. But he was in his own zone, and he was doing all these moves, and you could see you were actually quite cute looking at you. He was like, oh my god, bless him, look at him.
She was there just going, he's up himself, and look at your
okay, no, but when you were dancing and stuff towards the end, I thought that was really cute. Yeah, we had this bicker because this dude was like competitive towards.
I'm always competitive,
and he was teasing
Nothing
me.
wrong with that.
Clearly, that's something to do with when we.
She was there going, don't touch me, don't come near me. You're gonna give me bad vibes. I'm only missing because you're near me. What?
I was like, please don't touch me. Yeah, game's on, mate. Don't touch me.
It's just coming in my way and everything, and you don't want to know what other things she was doing.
We're like little kids, seriously. He was come past me and he's tapping, like trying to tap me. I heard by Casey that whilst I went to bowl, you were behind me doing some voodoo magic. Some voodoo dance. I don't know that I lose. This is how bad it is. So it was quite cute, but it reminded us how when we were dating, well, we weren't even dating. This is how we got together, the bowling thing that happened. It was the same kind of thing. You were irritating then. It was the same vibe.
I can't change. It's who I am. But I tell you, it just
stupid cheeky smile. But you had this like you were really uplifted
honestly,
from it, weren't you?
I was tired during the day, and I was like, gotta go. And I tell you, my energy level was so high. I come back, and I was just like big.
He was grinning. He was really happy.
And in my head was, oh my gosh, this is who I am. You know what? If someone was to ask me tomorrow, like I said, anything, I keep on going. Oh, I'd love to play golf. I love to do badminton. I love to do football still. You know what I mean? I don't know how people... And I'm going, but the people that I get... And again, it's to do with the environment that you're around and the people that you always... And this is where it's like I'm saying to my daughter, you go out there, you'll find the people that you want to be around. Yeah. The people who, like if it's fashion or history or English, whatever they're doing... Like, she doesn't like to go out, but she might. I don't know. She'll find her own thing. She doesn't like, that kind of stuff. So it's not we've ever stopped her.
But it's that thing, isn't it? Going back to the question is, how do you move? It was difficult for us because we were thinking, are we bad people? Or, they didn't do nothing wrong. And clearly when
they haven't.
Clearly when you're going through they say, the healing thing, like when you hit rock bottom and you're going through this, healing process, there's going to be things that keep dragging you back down. And it is sometimes your own mental thinking of like, oh God, am I a bad person? Shall we meet back up? Or, what do they think of us? They probably think we're stuck up. And you go back and forth and then you do get past, those things will happen. Then finally you get past this stage where you're like, no. Wherever they are, bless them, hope they do well, but this is no longer for me. You outgrow it, don't you? And
it's not only that, it's where your life is going. It's like now, I like to go to...
I think you've got to just stop, you've got to get to the point where you stop feeling bad, because we have, and since then, I think we've moved a lot more forward, and things do happen. You will have people back and forth, and you do realise, and it needs to happen as well, for you to realise that you are no longer, it's not about them, it's about you. You are no longer that person. So stop feeling bad and now start moving forward and looking for the right kind of people. So it is difficult. Sorry, what did you say?
No. I mean, more or less just like that. It's like, this recently, if you see, majority of the time people don't go to the gym or don't do any exercise, don't eat healthy. But they say, people find it okay if you eat in junk food. They find it normal, having a drink. They find it normal sitting around watching a thingy or talking about people.
No joke, guys. I've just had an apple crumble with custard. Before we jumped on podcast, and we were talking about this.
People think it's normal doing all those things, but if someone says, I only eat, I don't know, vegetarian food or chicken and stuff like that, I only eat healthy, I don't eat out, I don't drink alcohol, I go to the gym, this is my life. And people go, what's wrong with you, dude? You know what I mean? And not everyone, but the majority of your friends and people, certainly if that's what you've been around, they'll just go, this guy's boring, or this person. And the thing is, I'm not saying that I'm, sort of fitness freak kind of thing like that and all that. But I do go to the gym and all that. But I would love to have those people around. I mean, that's what I felt like I had when we were younger. I think that's what my friends all were, kind of thing. They all were going either to a gym. We always played football. We always met up. And it wasn't like, we're talking about other things. Yeah, probably talk about girls, but you know what I mean? But we're growing up. But I think once everyone got married, once everyone got sort of married and they moved on, they got their jobs, because that's what, you're still students and you're doing that. Then it's become, families and responsibilities and external
Your
families,
life
and
comes on hold.
you make new friends, you got work. But then you're not doing these other things. You're more or less going, I haven't got time to go to the gym. But I've got time to drink with you guys.
Yeah.
But I haven't got time to, like, play that football game. Or, we're older now, can't run like... It's not... The thing is, you just like go... It's not a
Some
priority.
people are happy just to stay, like they settle down and life just becomes life. Where some people, it's good that we kind of have that reality check, thinking, shit, like this weekend, whatever we did, you enjoyed it, and it's like, I want to do more of this.
Yeah,
and it's that growth, keep learning, and it's like I think there's a lot of people in life that do at this age start thinking, hold on, again, now it's about me finding me. We've been lost all this time. Maybe even not even lost, but just concentrating on family, career. Now it's about me finding what I enjoy, what I like doing, what friends I want to hang out with. Do I want to travel? What is next for me? So going back to that question that lady had said about whoever it was, a gentleman on Spotify, how do you do it? Like, I no longer, there'll be times where there's so many friends I used to do so many things with. I'm not in that stage where I'm like, you know what, there's some people who want to actually be in touch with me again, and I'm like, I'm in my own time when I'm ready. If I want to see you, I'll see you then. But at the moment, I'm not desperate to go back and have those friendships, because I know I've changed, I've evolved in myself, and I want to find like-minded people. I know they're there, but I'm not rushing out there to, I'm not like DMing people who I think are my kind of people. I think that's the wrong way about to do things.
Yeah.
You eventually, slowly, and it's. I feel like the universe does bring in the right people at the right time when it's needed, and the more you push at it, it would happen. It will. It's gonna happen. I think you've got to be in the right state of mind yourself as well.
But also, you need to know who you are and what you like.
Exactly.
What you want.
And going back to the previous people you had in life, they were there because you were that person as well at that time.
Yeah. I mean,
now you're no longer that.
I'm not...
It's not always about make and do either. You attract who you do.
It
takes me back to one of my sessions, my therapy sessions, when the girls were going to, still in primary school, and the kind of ladies that were there, and I was interacting with them, and she had said to me, she goes, because of what you're going through, they relate to you. And and I was attracting those they were actually coming, like a lot of people just stop and talk to me, girls, women will, and they were more or less the same kind of people who were having problems, having issues, and you'd spend your time just talking, and you realize it, and she's like, you need to back away from all of that stuff. And it is the truth. That's how we make these friends as we go along. We don't see, but you do eventually. Where you are in life is the kind of people you attract. And now I'm saying I have had some good friends in the past who have slowly started to speak back to, and it's not where it used to be, but I like where it is. And eventually I will see people in my own time again if I want to, if I feel like, but going back to us as a couple, we only have each other. Someone had written it in, and I have got the message, and I think she wrote it last week as well, and she wrote, what makes a successful marriage? Like, you both have supported each other from some tough times, and clearly they might know certain things because she's wrote a few times, but a successful marriage, I think we have been through.
It's like now we can just have this conversation, and we can just nearly get to an argument and go,
yeah, and that's the thing, when you can get through those times, when you know you're not angry with each other. A lot of people can't get past that turmoil, don't understand each other, can have, like you said, childhood trauma, don't understand why he's doing this, why is he like that, and it's up in the air, constantly the same arguments day in day. And that happened with us as well, until we start figuring out, it was like, we need to do something here. Clearly, we can't both be wrong. Like, there's something going on here
it's only me that's wrong.
There's,
See?
No comment.
Don't you?
No comment.
See, that's the truth. That's how you really work, guys. Yeah,
right.
Marriages work when the woman's right and the man's wrong.
I think we are most majority of the time. Depends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Marriages. That success story is gonna go. Oh, sorry. Do you?
Another guy sitting right here now wouldn't personally put up with the way I was. Wouldn't want to understand or wouldn't care less. But we were at that stage where we didn't either. Like, we had to fight through that. Then it came to a point where we need to understand what's going on here. We clearly love each other. We clearly care about each other. You can't live without each other. Bloody hell. Like, do you know what I mean? Constantly, worried about each other, whatever else not. Then what is it? There's a lot more to it. So it's that understanding. And I'm more than 100% positive, sure that another guy sitting here right now would not have been able to put up with the way I was back then. And same with me, the other way around. Like, it's about having that understanding. at all. So as long as there's something to fight for.
I do think that that's the case in every relationship. If you look at every relationship, the problem is if they look at it, they always go, if it was anyone else, it's what you... I think it's what you accept and you can change it and understand.
Yeah.
Because many people, if you put in any situation, like you say, it could be in anyone's relationship, someone else will turn around and go, I ain't having this.
Yeah.
Or not that I'm not having this. This isn't my standard, or this isn't what I...
wasn't like
this is how I see it. This is wrong. Therefore, boom. Instead of, what's going on here? What's more?
What's
the
more
depth.
going on? And people
and
don't
let's
do
work
that.
this.
People don't do
and
that.
Certainly this day and age, it's more or less like going, I'm not happy about this. Yeah. This is toxic.
But I think people only start, unless they're like a bit more, got that support and network of people around them who give them that support. People don't actually start looking at things like that until things really start getting disastrous a lot more. And I think that's what it was the case with us, because we didn't had no one to turn to or advise us or anything, and it got really rock bottom for us, where it was like, shit, we need to work this out, something needs to change it, because you have to start looking at the other person and saying, you know what, there's good in that person, what you see in that person, and whatever is going on here, is clearly to do with, there's more to it and it needs to be sorted. And that's what happened with us too. It wasn't like, oh my God, we've always had this perfect... everyone assumes we had this perfect, amazing relationship from day one. I think sometimes you have to go back to that to say, shit, I know what I saw in that person and what is going on here, because you are eventually trying to fight each other to go your separate ways. We have had that,
I think also to do with that question is the successful marriages and things like that, or relationships. Like you said, also it could be... having family and friends and stuff like that could actually not always, if they're supportive and they want the best for you, they'll find ways to say, look, how can you help you work things out? But usually they could be working also on the negative. You could go there because you don't want to talk to your partner to go, this is the situation, what is going on, let's fix it. You end up communicating with people outside, and that's what, and not only do they then see the bad in that person, because they don't see both sides of the story. They only see one side. I only said this, okay, but they don't hear all the rest. They did this.
And I think because they're supporting that person as well, it gives them.
They can't turn around and go, "Hey, you've been wrong."
No, it gives that person more of a backup. Instead of sorting their relationship out, they understand me. They know. They know
where I'm coming from. I'm right, and this I'm being treated unfairly. And then because of that, it sometimes goes. Because you're not communicating and working out with that person, this other people, they all understand me, they're all listening, they're all telling me I don't deserve this. Therefore, it makes it easier not to work that, but instead of going, I'm not a problem here. This doesn't need to be worked on. That person needs to change, and if they don't, but I can't communicate with them either, or I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, we haven't had that. That's been a blessing for us in a way. So as well as it's like, at times it's like, oh my God, we don't have people around us. It's been a blessing, because if we did both have our sides of the family, there would have been something where I believe that me and you possibly could have been.
It's like actually like, having your two kids who are like not getting on with each other. This one is a weird way to put it. And then you're going, just get into your room, I'm going to lock the door, sort it out.
That's how it's
And then they're like, come outside and they're going, yeah, we sorted it. Yeah. It wasn't something as bad as we are, even though they must have been like, like two young boys having fisticuffs or sisters having an argument. I'm not like that. It's like sometimes even with a couple, you got to be like, look at it, like going, we argue with our siblings, we argue with our parents, but we don't always like, everyone finds that acceptable. That's okay, they understand us. But arguing with your partners, it's like, what the heck, something's wrong here.
I've seen successful people, the ones that, their marriage and everything else is very important to them, put that first before anything else. And it's the marriage is successful as well, are the ones who actually turn around and saying, if you've got any kind, you never go and tell a third person what's going on within your relationship. You should.
I just tell all you guys, that's it.
I should. No, we're in a very good place to be able to share experiences and what we've been through, and if people are going through the same. But
we're talking about it to everyone together, kind of thing. Well, we know that what we say, even if I was doing this by myself, you're going to hear it anyway.
This is from our experience and what we've learned and grown. So hoping other people will learn and, if in a similar situations, take something away from it. Whereas going back to her question is, I would honestly advise her that same thing. I wouldn't go around telling a friend or a family member. Sometimes you do need to open up, but I feel like if your first the first thing you should do is speak to the person who's important to you. That main person should know how you're feeling, and they should be understanding towards what you're feeling, and vice versa.
Give them time as well.
Yeah, think about,
because sometimes remember, they could from two different. Yeah, you could be from two different backgrounds, kind of thing. Different thoughts, different families. We've all been brought up differently, and sometimes just understanding it, it's like a bit difficult. You just go, what, and then give them time.
Yeah. So I think we're going to leave it at that, because there's a lot you can talk about this. You can take it even further to the extent of, like, when people come together, they get married and assume that person can be the same person.
Big massive subject.
There's so many different things and you can people change after marriage. There's so much you can talk about, and we've been through it, and so much we can share with you. But I feel like we've done enough today.
Yeah, and I'm glad that people have started writing a lot more, like, asking questions or saying, can you talk about this stuff? Do carry on, guys. Honestly, if you want more about this or more about anything else, then we can share those things, because that's what it is. It's like trying to make sure that we cover things, we bring in our own personal lives and situations and experiences. But also, see if there's people out there who can relate, and, or maybe not going through things, but not understanding why they're going through them. Yeah. But then they go, okay, this makes sense. Or maybe they might have the answer to this, or why it is, because we have to do things differently. But then again, there might be some people who are in the same boat and going, hey, we go through the same stuff, or we wish we had people at our age, in our 30s or 40s, that we can hang about with and do these things. I don't want to drink, or I don't want to do this.
And just from experience, personally ourselves, I think we would have loved to have had people who were supporting us and helping us, like whether it was our, I know I'm saying you shouldn't talk to a third person, but like knowing someone who's mature enough, wise enough, you're going to get the right answers from, not like
basically who look at it in like now, how I see it for us two is, I would like to be in a position where if my kids talk to me or anyone else, like a friend, I think I got that from being a police officer more than anything. It's like being a position where you're going, how can I see the best for both of them, even though this person's telling me the story.
And that's how it should be.
Because there's always this story, I don't know this person's story, and I don't know what the truth is.
Yeah.
But what I've got to do is go, okay, I can tell you everything you want to hear, but I need to see what's the best for both people.
And it's lovely.
And not many people do that.
It's lovely to see a lot of people writing in. I've had DMs come in as well of ladies who actually are saying, they want personal conversations with me, just to, if I could help them in any way towards things like this. But I feel like in the future that will be something to look forward to and help others along the way. But that's it. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and if there's anything you want us to speak about on the next episode, then please, there's many ways to get in touch with us, whether it's Instagram, whether it's even dropping comments here on the comment section. You've got your Instagram, we've also got TikTok, Spotify, there's so many different YouTube, ways,
wherever.
And I hope you enjoyed it, and if you think there's someone who would benefit or enjoy this as well, then do share it with them, and do like and share and subscribe to all our channels. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Bye.